Alrighty, guys, let's dive into AI hallucinations. This is a hot topic in the space that we play, especially in the AI space. But I've had more and more conversations with people recently around why am I not getting consistent information or feedback based on the results I'm seeing, mainly in ChatGPT or Gemini, but in the more context world of just artificial in general, right? Or around AI automation. And so I'm going to dive into this topic and hopefully give you some insights into why. Actually, I'll give the spoiler alert. We actually don't know why. Like, we know the reasonings why it's happening, but the actual reason why AI hallucination actually still hasn't been proven, to the extent of being like scientifically proven, I should say. It will happen. They'll finally come up with it, but I'll give you the insights into what's been learned so far and how you can avoid this in your daily use of AI. So, what is AI hallucination? So this is a growing topic in the AI space. If you've been using ChatGPT for a while now, or Gemini, or the likes, this is becoming a central conversation around this process and decision making, right? So, what is AI hallucination? So, simply put, AI hallucination is when the AI system generates false or misleading information, but it presents it as factual information. So, unlike us as humans, AI doesn't lie. It doesn't know how to lie unless you train it to lie, but essentially out of the box, it doesn't know how to lie. It doesn't know how to lie with intent, right? And so it's not trying to do this on purpose. So it will hallucinate based on the misrepresentation of data, or mixing up where the information is coming from, the sources it's coming from, or based on patterns it's seen in the data and what it's learned from, right? And so this is around just think about like incomplete data. If you give the wrong data to a junior in your company and say, can you come up with an answer for this? They will look at the information you give them and they'll provide the answer. But if you give them bad information, then there will be bad answers. And so it's like taking all the incorrect data for whatever reason, whatever purpose, and then providing that to you, which essentially it's hallucinating what the results are going to be. So what we've found, not just us, but like the AI community, is that the training data itself, so that's what it's been trained on, it's learned from like this vast amount of data, essentially the entire internet of data, right? Just think of like anytime you can Google search or look up something online, it's essentially pulled all that data together. Now you'll know this for yourself. Anytime you've Googled in the past, there's always inaccuracies around the information that's being produced, and there's sometimes fake information that's also put online. But it's used that as its learning mechanisms, right? So initially it's been trained on false or inaccurate data. There's this really overgeneralized pattern that AI picks up, so around the response. I guess it's responding to these patterns, right? So when it's got this misinterpretation of data, it's going to result in incorrect outputs because it just thinks, well, it being AI thinks it's correct, thinks it's going to be reporting on the correct information. In its situation, in its defense, of course, it's reporting on what it thinks, right? So it's got this really biased overgeneralization of the patterns that it's built over time because of this reason. Then we talk about handling the ambiguity. So essentially, if we look at AI, I say this in simple terms: AI is making shit up to try and fill the gaps when it doesn't know the right answer or doesn't have the information or unclear information to lead to the right answer. And so it's literally just pulling information in to fill the gaps between its knowledge base that doesn't actually have the answer. So it will just make shit up, and what I normally say. And so, why does this matter? It matters especially in all organizations. But think about high stake industries like healthcare and finance and legal, and like you're trusting this AI generated false information. And if you do it in a way that like you trust it so much that it could lead to significant consequences in your organization or anything you're using AI for, right? So you be really careful around this. So the only key points, like I mentioned, around this: always have oversight. Humans should have oversight. You should have oversight into the output of what you're seeing. So essentially, fact check it. This is why I say experts won't be replaced anytime soon, maybe in 3 or 5 years. But for now, experts won't be replaced because you need to have an oversight to know if that information is correct. The data quality that you we do a lot of custom development. So essentially, the data we're putting in and training AI needs to be accurate, needs to be correct, and make sure you're giving a high quality data. If you're not giving a high quality data, then you essentially shit in, shit out. You'll get bad results. And it's always this conversation. It's hard to understand, but you've got to always do model tuning. So you got to tune the model, tune the AI regularly, make sure that we're understanding the good and the bad outputs, and then we're always feeding that back into the model to keep training it to ensure that accuracy builds up over time. And so, AI hallucination, it's a massive topic in the space that we play. I'm not sure if you've come across this yet. What is the most craziest AI hallucination that you've seen? I'd love to hear that from you. But essentially, hopefully, this gives you some inputs into why you might not be seeing that number one perfect 100% accuracy every single time and output. All right, cheers, guys.